Hello, it's Josephine here, the Good Enough Mum. And this is the fourth of my videos on helping your child apply to university. You can pick up all the videos on my Facebook page, which is called The Good Enough Mum. And this one today is all about helping them to get ready for their interview and encouraging them as they set off for their interview in terms of what to expect. I hope you find it helpful. So they can be called up for interview for a number of reasons. Usually after they've applied, if they've been offered a conditional place that's perhaps conditional on their A-level results, they will then be asked to go up for a candidate day. And this sometimes does involve an interview, but if they've already got the offer, they don't really need to worry about it too much, because it's really just about them getting to know the course and the staff getting to know them. Sometimes they are asked for an interview, particularly if it's either a competitive course or perhaps if it's maybe an arts-based course or a skills-based course where the university needs to see what they've already done. So, for example, they could be asked to take a portfolio of their previous work with them. And usually the university will get in touch and be very specific about what's actually required. And so what I'd suggest you do in that case is obviously sit down with them well in advance of the day and get everything ready so that you're not left at the last minute trying to download something onto a USB key. Believe me, I've been there, done that, and it's pretty scary when you've got the night before and you can't find a working CD-ROM or something. So do nag them to get organised early on, well in advance of the night before. So as I say, usually the university will be quite clear as to what's expected, and you can help them get everything ready before they go. And usually if they're going up for an interview, it depends what it is. If it's not part of the open day, it'll just be a case of getting up there, having the interview and leaving again. But sometimes it's a whole day, depending on what type of course you're applying for. But again, I come back to what has been the thread throughout this particular series of videos, and that's about enabling them to choose the course that really suits them. Because if they're applying for a course that they really want to do, there'll be a reason for that. It'll be appealing to their interests and their knowledge and the things that they've done already. And it's a case in that case of encouraging them that they do actually have the ability to perform well at the interview because they're already enthusiastic and committed about the subject. So obviously it might be worth preparing, it might be worth them really reading up around the subject and thinking about what it is about the subject that they love. And if they're going to want to talk about anything in particular, so say they're applying for a particular course where they want to talk about a particular book they've read or a film they've watched, make sure they have actually read it or watched it, because they will be talking to someone who's probably got a deeper knowledge than they have of that particular subject. So it's very difficult to wing it. So the main thing is to be prepared, and then actually on the day to be as relaxed as possible. One of the things that might help them to relax is if you could help them to talk about their breathing, because if we breathe calmly and slowly, that can help with our nerves. So even for a minute beforehand, as they're waiting outside, if they could try and do, say, 5 slow breaths in a minute, just focusing on breathing in and out, that will actually help them to feel a little bit more relaxed, and it'll help that part of their brain that needs to think to not be too affected by the sort of adrenaline of being called up for the interview. But the most important thing is to remember that they do have something to offer and that they can be successful, and that perhaps if they're not successful with this particular interview, there's something else better waiting around the corner. There's nothing worse than finding yourself somewhere where you shouldn't be, and it leads to a great deal of unhappiness. So this university is there actually to help them to find the best way for themselves. And so however disappointing if they get a rejection it is worth thinking perhaps it either isn't right or perhaps a different approach is called for. I hope that's helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you in my final video, which is on the student loans, in case you're worried about student loans. If you want to find anything else out about the videos that I've done, feel free to message me on Facebook, on my Facebook page, where you can find the other videos, and that's The Good Enough Mum. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.